Hi, my name is Carolyn Service with o2bstamping.com. Today I wanted to show you a beautiful card using the stamp set Indescribable Gift. Now this was designed to be an Easter set. As you can see here, Happy Easter, sharing in the joy of his indescribable gift. Refresh, renew, rejoice. But the cherry blossoms on this set could just stand alone for so many different occasions. I've actually made a couple of different cards using the same stamp set, and just one of the differences I want to show you is that this card was colored using ink and a blender pen. This card was colored using Blendabilities. So I just kind of wanted to show you the difference in those two. Zoom these in a little bit better so that you could decide which one that you like the best. I actually prefer the smoothness of the Blendabilities, but I still enjoy coloring with the blender pens as well. So I'm going to show you how to do this card today with the blender pens. I also made this card with the Blendabilities in the navy blue color scheme. Love that. My coloring wasn't the best on that one, but I won't tell if you won't tell. Okay, so to start, here are the supplies that I used. So I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of pink pirouette cardstock folded in half. And then I also have a smaller piece. This is 4 by 5.25, and a piece of designer paper that I cut wrong. Presto changeo, the magic of video. So this one, actually I still don't have it quite right. I actually want this piece to be 2 by 5. 2 by 5. Snip a 1/4 inch off of there. Okay, I think I finally have it right. There we go. Okay, and then the piece that I'm going to stamp on is actually 3.5 by 3.25. I'm going to use my Memento black ink and the cherry blossom image in the stamp set. Okay, and this is going to hang off just slightly. Okay, just checking. It didn't look like it was quite big enough, but it appears as it is. All right. There we go. Okay. And then I also have a background piece that's just going to give it a little extra layer, using the, actually this is confetti white. We don't really actually even carry anymore. We do have a naturals white. Or you could just use a regular white, or you could just leave this layer off altogether, whichever you prefer. Okay, so I am going to start with the pink pirouette, and I'm just going to drop a couple of drops of ink in the lid and get my blender pen. Okay, and the way you do this is the darker that you want it, the more you just go straight into the ink. The lighter that you want to bring it over here to the edge and just kind of make it a lighter color, and then go in. I always like to do my darkest pieces first. And actually, I'm just realizing my darkest pieces would not be pink pirouette. They would actually be the other pink, which is the Blushing Bride. So let me make a quick change up here. Clean that off of my ink pad. There, much better. Okay, and then what I do is I sort of follow the design of the stamp set itself. So where it's dark or shadow, there's a lot of line on the image, then I color there first because I want that to be the darkest. And I usually will go out from there just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, and then I want to color all of the darkest areas of my image. So I might imagine that the sun is shining from this direction, and so therefore the bottom parts of my flower are going to be darker than my top sections. And so I kind of go around just like that. Now keep in mind, the more that you use the ink, the lighter it's going to get. So now I've colored on a dark area. If I wanted then for it to be lighter, I could just bring it down in here, and you can see how, can you see actually, how that gets lighter. And then even lighter still, if I just keep coloring, you can see how that works. Okay, I want to leave some of that space, however, because I want to come in with the lighter pink pirouette, but you get the idea there. So I'm going to color in all the areas that I feel would be the darkest in my design. And you can also leave some white space. It's always a good idea to do. Sometimes a little hard, especially when you are first creating. It's just a natural thing to try to color it all in, but just keep in mind that it will look really cool if you have some white space. Alright, I'm going to, you can always come back and add more of this, so I'm just going to kind of stop here and bring in my other color. Okay, so changing to pink pirouette, this being a lighter color and a different shade, I am just going to start here. And it's just a subtle difference, but that's really all you want, is a subtle difference. Just going to kind of hurry this along just a little bit, being that we are on video here. Leaving some of the white space in the top of that flower, some more white space in the top of that one, and here. I just love coloring with Blendabilities or a blender pen. Both are just very relaxing to me. And hope this doesn't make for a boring video. But you get the idea here. Again, leaving some white space there. And you can always go back and add more darker if you want. Of course, obviously, you can't ever make it lighter, so you want to keep that in mind as you're coloring. Kind of like that. Okay, I think I'm good with that. All right, and then, like I said, if you decided you wanted to go back in and just add a touch darker here and there, maybe to the centers, make them stand out a little bit more, you could do that, or in the shadow, maybe there'd be a shadow there. You get the idea, I hope. Okay, then we're going to just simply, I think I'm going to add a little bit of shadow on that one as well. And you can play. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my blender pen off just by coloring on a scrap piece of paper until my ink it's not showing colored any longer. Okay, then I'm going to put this one aside. I'm going to bring out the soft suede for my stems. And again, I'm going to color where all the dark lines already are, because that sort of gives me a hint as to where the shadows on this would be. Of course, as up here, there's not really a lot of room other than to just draw the stems. There's not much shadowing to do. And add this to be just a little darker first. And if you want it to be really dark, you can just go actually right into the ink pad. You'll see there how much darker that becomes. Okay, and then I want to do the rest of it rather light, so I'm just going to color off just a little bit, like in here would be good, and then just fill that space in. Can you see how much lighter that is? Hopefully you can. Okay, I think I'm done with the browns, or the stems rather, in the branch. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush again just by rubbing it back and forth on some scrap paper. And then I'm going to come in with my green for the leaves. Alright, so we've got the green, Pear Pizzazz. And again, I want to color the darkest first. Actually, it looks like I still might have a little bit of pink in my brush. Let me just clean that again. Some fresh ink in my lid. There we go. And color the darkest areas first. And the lighter area next. So dark, dark, and then lighter. Do some of these underneath the flowers there. When you go into your ink, the first application that you do is going to be the darkest. So once you get the dark off of your brush, then you can go into the other sections of where you are coloring, and it will lighten up as it goes. And of course, if you want something a lot darker, just use a darker color, like maybe Old Olive rather than Pear Pizzazz. Okay, I think I have everything done there. Let's see what you think. All right, isn't that pretty? I just love that. Now another thing that you could do with this to really highlight it, I actually just made a video using the crystal effects to highlight a little Easter bunny that I did. But you could put crystal effects over some of these flowers, or even all of the flowers, and really make it pop. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and attach it on another layer. I just like layering. And this designer paper that I'm using is one of the free choices from the Best Day Ever Designer Series paper in the Celebration promotion. Do I have, okay. And one of the things that I wanted to do was add some ribbon at this point. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either just take your ribbon all the way around the back of your card, over to here, and tie a knot. Okay, now in doing that, I'm going to use approximately 16 inches of ribbon. Just measured that on my grid paper. Or you can do something a little bit different. You can take a smaller piece of ribbon. Actually, I'm going to show you two ways you can do this. You can either make a knot sort of in the end area and just slide that together. Make a knot, put it here, wrap this around. This would go under here, okay? And then you could actually even take another small piece if you wanted to, or you could just leave that part off. Another small piece and add it to this side of the card, or not, or you could just leave that part blank. So here on my sample, you can see there's another small piece of ribbon here, okay? Now, another thing that you can do is to take a small piece of ribbon and simply, well, I didn't quite get enough. You simply tie the ends together. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. This is kind of small, but we'll give it a shot. So these are just some tips on how you can, no, too small. Okay, I won't show you that one, I'll just explain it. So if you were to get another piece of ribbon, I'm going to guess about 10 inches probably, and you simply tied the ends in a knot. Actually, I might be able to just do that on here without cutting it off. Okay, let's try that. So you would tie this in a knot. I'm a little bit thumbs here today, but it's okay, it'll work. Okay, knot. Okay, like so, right? Can you see that okay? And then you would, of course, cut it off of the roll, but then you would also just cut it in half here, and you would then have a flat piece of ribbon, and you would just attach that to your card. Does that make sense? Maybe I just need to do it. Cut that off, cut that in half, and attach it. So let's pretend it goes in the center. That might be easier to show you. So around and around, but then look, you've saved like 3 to 4 inches of ribbon on the back. Okay, so I hope those little tips make sense. And for now, what I'm going to do is the smallest piece. So this is like only what, 6 inches of ribbon, and I'm going to tie a knot. Use my best side, which I think is this side. Okay, I am going to put a little bit of snail there. Actually running out of snail, I believe. Right there. I'm going to wrap that around to the back. Attach that there. And then I am going to use dimensionals to put on the back of my image. Again, don't forget you can put another piece of ribbon on this edge here. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. So what that does is it just makes it look as though you have wrapped your ribbon all the way around from front to back, when in fact you haven't even come close to doing that. So again, another way to save yourself some ribbon. Okay, there we go. Okay, so see, it looks like it goes all the way around and to the back. I just thought of another one as well that I could have showed you, but we'll let it go with that. It's enough ribbon tips, I guess, for the day. And then you're just going to simply add this. Oh, I think that might have been the last of my, yes it was, the last of my adhesive. But that's okay, because we are at the end of the project. So there you go. So you can see the knot here, just a little bit different than the original. Okay, but again, if you're short of ribbon, it's a great technique to use. You can also just put the ribbon straight across, like if that knot wasn't there, you can put this ribbon straight across and then just tie a little piece around that ribbon, and then you will get this effect with the little tails. So, I hope that you have enjoyed that video using the Indescribable Gift stamp set. And again, my name is Carolyn Service with odebstamping.com. I'm at your service. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them and I'll get back with you. Have a wonderful day and happy stamping. Thanks for visiting.